Hi, I'm Raymond, and I am the owner of Little Cat. So Little Cat being like the main one, and then second to that, in a long-term sense, is to open up a natural wine bar and a small plates concept. Third one is the Bencho Boys pop-up that I do reoccurring, or like once in a while with a couple of friends. Yeah, just those three. Growing up, my parents really enforced this like career path, and it was like to be. I mean, this is like a shared story with a lot of folks, but it's to be like a lawyer, doctor, whatever, which was like super antithetical to who I was as a person, my like career aspirations. So I dragged out college, and then interspersed between all those things were like interpersonal stuff, like my grandma passing away, well, all my grandparents passing away, and we were really close to them. So, dragged out college for 7 years. Law school was like a viable option, so I took the LSAT, did pretty well, applied, got in. Uh, Not so great school, but I still got in. Then COVID happened, and then the whole like virtual learning thing. And I'll give myself credit. Like I knew I wasn't mature enough to go back into classroom setting and dedicate like 80% of my life to studying. Going back to my grandma and grandparents, so my parents, very working class. They have restaurants and they've had other like business pursuits, so they were away from the house a lot just because of work. So my grandparents stepped up, particularly my maternal and paternal grandma, and they raised us. And in that, it was a lot of watching them cook, but also them cooking for us, and that was like a bonding experience. And then also, that's what I typically think back on whenever I do think about my grandparents. So, um, food was a huge part of our family history and culture. That's what kind of inspired and uh, had me like pursue like food. My parents were, especially my mom, she was like very health forward, so sweets weren't really much of a thing in childhood. Whenever we did get sweets, and it'd be usually through like my cousin doing those like silly chocolate fundraisers for like band or like school. So she'd buy like massive amounts and just stash them. Typically in high places, I was like 3 foot tall, you know. But also being a kid and just being like jobless and nothing else to do, we'd find ways to like try to get these chocolates and like in high places. So I would like crawl up on countertops, like refrigerators, wherever. My mom, she like likened that behavior to a stray cat, and so she nicknamed me Little Cat, and that's how, yeah, that's the genesis of the name. Even though my parents weren't as present as we would have liked or as they would have liked to, not their fault. Capitalism is capitalism. Um, they really raised good kids. Like I have a sibling. They really drilled it in us to be like very considerate. Um, and you know, I fuck up plenty of times, obviously, of course. My parents, my mom and dad are very empathetic people, and I think that's where a lot of like my inspiration comes from, but also wanting to just emulate that because they are such good people and they're like role models in that way. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, just having that sort of like safe space at home and wanting to replicate that in my own workspace is something of value. The reality is that it's still very hostile for women, for trans folk, for non-binary folk. Uh, oh, this is gonna sound so corny. If you want to be the change that you want to see, you have to like start with yourself. So, and again, it's not just me; it's entirely like the staff. They keep the culture really positive and really safe and good. One thing I wanted to really like doubled down on was just creating like a really safe environment, especially for our younger staff members. Having that space for them, but also for like the community, and just being able to provide them a service and space that is like reliable, but maybe it's also something that they look forward to at the end of the day. That's really motivating. Because like success is so objective and there's like varying degrees. I feel like success to me is like a laser pointer with cats. You're always chasing it, and just when you think you have it, it like is so elusive. And I think there's like a little bit of a romanticism with that pursuit, and it's just always like the desire to keep improving, and I think that's like super integral with personal growth. And my answer will probably change throughout the week, throughout the years, and throughout life. But for me at this point, if I could just like go to bed and sleep really easy, that to me is success. Honestly, it's just that simple. Like I have a very simple idea of success. Olivia's, can I like go down real quick? Yeah. I guess she's rushing. I'll be back. I'm sure like a shit ton of people say this, but experiment. Like, just gather as much experience as you can. For me, it was traveling and just seeing all the different like coffee shops around the state, around the world, trying ideas and inspiration from that, and that kind of like generates your brain to start developing ideas. It motivates you. It keeps you in this mindset of like all the possibilities and just like giving you a really nice sense of imagination, and I think that's the driving force behind a lot of things. My whole like life motto is we'll like cross the bridge when we get there. In the present, if the problem isn't right in front of you, like why worry about it? Yeah, it's good to like prepare for certain things that are avoidable. Those are valid and certainly like responsible things to do, but like enjoy the moment, enjoy the process of getting there. Being optimistic in these really like shitty, hard, awful times is actually revolutionary. And in these times, it's going to be so much more important to form like communities and really adhering to said community values. Because if the world falls apart, it's going to be the people in your immediate surrounding that will take care of you. In turn, you'll take care of them. So.